Wait, you passed out at lunch?
Yes. I came home after my event. I was just like, I ate and I like tried to stay awake and I just couldn't. So I had a 30-minute nap. I was like, I'm done for here.
I actually took a nap before my beach volleyball last night and then accidentally overslept.
You're playing beach volleyball?
Yeah, for the second year, Nicole. I played it last year.
I don't know this about you.
I'm a fair weather beach volleyball
Well,
member.
clearly.
I've been to like this is my first one, and there's been like 4.
Are you good?
No.
Because I did one season of indoor rec volleyball last year and basically took a ball to the face once a week.
It's really fun. It's with a bunch of people from my work that are really fun.
Yeah.
And we are called, actually, I'm not going to say the name because it outs my company. But it's really, really fun. I'm not good at all.
I was terrible.
I'm okay with it.
I was a one-hit
like,
wonder.
It's like gorgeous. Like you go to the beaches and you play and like the sun sets. It's like so nice. So anyways.
I feel like that would be so much more enjoyable than my indoor rec experience in the middle of winter.
Yeah. Also, hi everyone.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. How was your day, Cole?
I'm losing it. It's been a busy day. It's been a good day. I spoke at an event this morning, which was really fun to do. It was my first event kind of like speaking publicly in my role. Yeah, it was just great. It was a good time. And then came home, did a little bit of work, and then I had to go. One of our members had a celebration for their like 35 years in the city. And it was cool. It was a very beautiful event. It's at the Rogers Center here in Ottawa, which is like the kind of domed convention center, which it was stunning. Like the sun setting and you're overlooking Parliament and the Rideau Canal and Chateau Laurier. And it's just like for construction, you couldn't have picked a better backdrop because like there's all these cranes and it's like backlit with the sun. It was stunning. But yeah, I'm good. I also wanted to do a little show and tell today because I haven't done it yet. And I looked at it today and I was like, how have I not talked about this? Because in the last like 5 episodes, I've brought up whales. By the way, I entered a contest with Tourism Newfoundland where you like track their whales and you can win a trip to go to Newfoundland I can't wait. Anyways, I'm manifesting it for myself. Anyways, my friend Kate got me this cute little whale plant holder. And it's just the most, I've named it Frida.
Oh, it's a female whale.
It's a female whale. Yeah.
I was thinking male, so I'm glad you corrected me.
Anyways, that's my life. That's all the update I have for you. So we recorded very recently.
Yeah,
so I don't have a lot for you.
I went to beach volleyball. I came home. I'm not wearing pants currently. I took the pants off.
I got on here and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm still in like I have a bodysuit on, high-waisted trousers, and my blazer. The only thing I've taken off is my heels. Megan's like, I'm not wearing any pants. Like,
different vibes. Honestly, like it feels
extremes. There's a lot of polarity here.
Very real for our like who we are as people.
Yeah, it's very Cole and Meg coded.
It's very Cole and Meg coded.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's dive into it.
Let's hit it.
Wanted to talk about AI.
Because we are experts.
Yeah, no, we're not experts, but we are
enthusiasts.
Whoa.
Same brain.
Didn't even practice that. Yes, we want to talk about AI from like through the lens of like how we're using it in our personal lives, also how we're using it at work.
And with
I don't know about anyone else listening. The AI is like starting to sort of take over my work life. I mean, I work in like insights data analytics field. Yeah. So obviously it's having huge implications on our business, but also we have internal like masters of artificial intelligence. We have experts that work with our clients every day. So I feel like I've been exposed to what it can do in some pretty crazy ways from a work perspective. But then that exposure has sort of seeped into my personal life as well. Like we use it a lot for the podcast. And I know Nicole is like really into using AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nicole, talk to the people about how you're using AI.
How am I not using it? This started probably back in October, was my gateway into using ChatGPT for personal. And it's because I saw a TikTok that was like, put all your goals into TikTok for like your dream life, and then have it script out a day in your life as the you that already has it. So using ChatGPT for like visualization and manifestation and helping you kind of conceptualize what your North Star is that you're working towards. And so that translated into here's all of my issues. What are my blind spots or the things that I'm not seeing in how I'm showing up in places? So whether that's work life, relationships, romantically, because again, I think you and I have just like talk therapied our way in circles, and I was just like, F it. I don't want to pay another like $200 for an hour to talk to someone, when instead I can let's just pop in my questions and get a robot to respond to me. And then, yeah, I use it. I use it now where I'm like, if I'm trying to make sense of something, if I have a problem that I can't sort out, and it's almost like a judgment-free zone. Because my AI is very lovely to me. Like we're in a relationship basically at this point.
This is basically her.
It is, honestly. And it's funny because there's prompts that I'll see on TikTok that I want to try out and see things, how they're going to respond. And I don't know. I just think it's so cool. And I do take it a little bit with a grain of salt. Like I'm not making life decisions that are serious off of what AI is telling me. So
also, I think it's worth
full
noting,
disclosure.
I don't think you're saying that ChatGPT is a replacement for a therapist.
No, it's a lovely little bridge in between.
Yeah,
it's a nice little fix.
Yeah, it's like a quick fix.
And it's honestly less for like fix my life in general and more, this is something that's happened. Explain it to me.
Yeah.
What am I not seeing?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
I've not used it for that, but that's really interesting.
Or like, as I'm dealing with men, the opposite sex, popping in text into chat, be like, what does he mean by this? How would you respond? Because I'm like, I'm business all the time, and it's hard for me to kind of slip back into date mode sometimes, especially after like a long day, that I get some things and I'm like kind of taken aback by some of the stuff, the audacity that some men have. And I realize I have to check myself a little bit. So it's like a sounding board in some ways. Yeah. For me.
Yeah. And before we dive too far, like there are obviously many different schools of thought, many different perspectives on AI. One of our most favorite humans, Tanks, I know, sort of pulled back a little bit, but like, I think it was towards the beginning of the year. She was just so afraid of artificial intelligence. And like, I know so many people are, and I hear that. There's also a lot of ethical and environmental impacts that are associated, or there are some that are associated. Nicole and I are not experts in the field, so we will not be diving too far into that conversation. We just wanted to chat about like what we're seeing, because honestly, it's starting to feel like my life right now is so focused on how, like at work, is so focused on how we adapt to what's happening.
Yeah.
And it is literally like my boss, my recently retired boss who I love, said to us, like, it's like the internet. It's like when the internet came out. That is literally what AI is. And I think some people are not conceptualizing just how massive this shift is going to be in our world. And I'm not saying that's not scary, but I think once you have a chance to sit with it and think about like, okay, it's here now. Are we going to adapt? are we going to embrace? Are we going to, and I'm not saying adapt without boundaries or embrace without, being really clear on how you want to leverage it. But I'm of the opinion on a personal level that like it's time for me and has been time for me to sort of embrace it, particularly for work. But I love all of the brainstorming that you've done of like how you can use it on a personal level.
Yeah, I like in work for me, I've had so many conversations in the last few weeks around AI. And the panel that I spoke on today, I did a podcast with the moderator last week. And he asked about AI in work and in comms. And I am a big believer that, especially in nonprofit world and really in any organization, marketing and communications teams are stretched super thin. And trying to demonstrate value and ROI and keep up with demand is really challenging. So using the tools that you have at your disposal to make that easier, I think is honestly the only way you're going to get ahead. I do think there have to be very big limits on what you can use it for, because you don't want to get into, okay, I would never pop into ChatGPT and be like, write me an op-ed on this topic. That is complete plagiarism. That is wild. But if I'm drafting up a report for my board, right? And I've captured all this data and I was like, here's all the data, put this in a report for me that I can then summarize and make sense of and start to explain this. Here is something I'm trying to rechange, even in small ways, when I'm trying to rechange, when I'm trying to adjust how I say certain things. I'm like, I need to find a different way to say this. And I've just run out of it on my own kind of time. And even we have a podcast with one of our partners and we use Riverside, which is what we use to record on. And even some of the editing tools that they have in the suite here for like complete episode editing, but also for clips, for show notes, all of that, like a year and a half ago didn't really exist. Even when we've been doing this, for almost 2.5 years? Yeah. Like magic clips are a newer feature of Riverside that has made our lives so much easier in terms of pulling all of those things. So there's so many tools. I feel like I've just scratched the surface. I really want to try. This is my next frontier, Megan. I really want to get like a personal assistant, like an email assistant that can go through all of my emails, pre-draft replies that I can just go, yep, that's it. Or pre-sort, like, this is for your attention, this is for your action. You don't need to know about this. This is junk. Like, yeah, that's my next.
Off that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. I mean, so that is one thing that everyone says about AI is like, it allows you to save time or maximize your time. Do you currently feel like it is saving you? I don't know if my question is, do you feel like it's saving you time? Do you feel like you're able to tackle more, let's say at work, because you use AI?
I think I'm able to focus on the things that I need to focus on that an AI can't replace. And there's a lot of parts of my job that are like admin or just stuff that can be done a lot faster than a human can physically do it. And using AI to this, like, not cut corners, but like find ways to be a little bit better and shave some time off so that I can spend more time focusing on the conceptualizing, on the strategy, on leading my teams and being a really present manager for them. Yeah. I find it's opening up more time for me to be able to do that while still delivering high quality stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that, and we should chat about the things that like scare me a lot about AI, but I do agree. I think what you said at the end there strikes a chord, because I was reading an article in the Atlantic. I'll find it, but it was about how the empathy of being the empathy quotient, essentially, of being a manager, like the ability to show up and be a human and support your teams, that is going to become so much more important with the the fact that AI is becoming so much more ingrained in our lives. Because if you think about it, it's like, okay, if you can get the things done that you need to get done faster and more efficiently, then you're able to actually dedicate time. There's so many things that I would love to do with my team, or like, monthly check-ins to make sure people are doing okay. Like things that like I do as much as I possibly can, but I don't have as much brain space for.
Yeah.
Or even emotional bandwidth for, to be honest. So that I'm really excited about. I think where I get really nervous, because I can see it in myself already, is like where I'm good at marketing. I feel like I always say this in interviews. Like, I think as a marketer, I can't speak for other types of roles, but like as a marketer, I think everyone has like a secret sauce. Like there's like one thing that you're really good at, and that's the thing you can take to the bank. That's the thing that you can like transfer into. Hopefully you have more, but there's usually one that really sticks out. Mine is, I guess, has always been content writing, or like content in general. And I've been using ChatGPT to not write content, because that's not part of my job anymore. But one part of my job that takes so much time is award submissions. And so it doesn't matter. Anyways, basically, it's like taking reports, turning them into the right format, the right copy, the right tone to then submit to publications. And
Right.
so I'm not joking. I saved myself like 3 days last week, like 3 full days, because I attached a report to a custom GPT that I've created that has all of my brand messaging, all of our tone of voice, like all of my marketing strategy, everything. Attached a report, said, here's the format that you need to fill out. Here's the word count. Can you write this? And it wrote it in like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I have to edit it and go through it. But the thing that starts to make me really nervous is not only like, is my job going to exist in 10 years? But it's also like, is an element of creativity dying when I'm not applying a creative lens to something, because I can get this done so fast. Like we have such a culture of convenience. Like if I can get that award submission done in 10 minutes, and then, 30 minutes of editing or whatever, I feel like I'm less likely to go back and try and inject some layer of creativity. I don't know if this is a great example, but like,
No.
there's just an element of like,
you're not flexing that muscle.
Yeah, I'm not flexing that muscle anymore. And I'm like, oh, first of all, is my ability to edit, or my ability to write something like that, is that going to get worse? And does that even matter? And second of all, like, where is the creativity in my, I'm not just writing award submissions, but how do I inject creativity, I guess, on a day-to-day? And how do I make sure that I'm still prioritizing that without falling into the trap of just loving how quickly and easily I can do things?
I think you have to really look at, like, it's a genuine concern, that if we stop using a muscle, it's going to shrivel up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a real concern. And I think for both of us and many people in similar careers, there are certain career paths that are going to get taken over by AI. It's inevitable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there's something so human, I think, about communications and marketing that I don't think truly could be totally taken over. And I think what each person has to discern for themselves is this the bread and butter of what I'm really good at? Like, is an award submission
No, absolutely.
So then if it's something that's just you have to do, it's going to save you time.
Yeah.
So that I would look at it less from that space, because you're probably still writing and editing and doing content in other areas. But how can you save times in the places where it maybe doesn't matter as much and the impact is not that great? Right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of work that's tedious and takes a lot of time, but the impact of it at the end of the day is not super high, but you have to do it. and even things like, one of the things I think is so great with AI right now, and not just ChatGPT, but like, Adobe or Canva, any of those tools out there where you can use AI to create one piece of, or you can create one piece of content yourself and then use AI to basically turn that into multiple types of content based off your original like report. That would take teams ages, right? And it's the same base, but you're just saving yourselves times in the process. And I think there's so many brilliant ways that we can just work smarter and not harder while still having the same result. But the key thing at the end of the day is there a human on the other end? Are you validating what you're getting back? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, AI does lie to you.
But I know, even to myself, when I'm asking it about my dating life, I'm like, I don't believe you.
I'll like add a transcript and say like, can you create some pull quotes? Like even for this podcast.
Yeah.
I'll be like, can you create some pull quotes? We did not say those things. And I'm like, no, we definitely didn't say those. Like, no, I want actual verbatims. And they'll get a little closer, but they're still like cleaning up our mess, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we want our messiness.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And I think there's such a human element to it. You don't want it to be too perfect, right?
Yeah.
And even for me, like I would say my bread and butter and my kind of specialty when it comes to marketing communications is positioning. And that strategy with it of like how we say certain things and where we say it and when we say it kind of, which is really helpful in a not-for-profit where I'm doing a lot of advocacy-based communications. And I don't think that, at least right now, an AI can do that because there's a lot of context to understand in each situation, right? So like, I don't know. I think we're still a ways off from things going sideways. Now, that said, robots could take over the world, which is why I always say, contrary, even though, OpenAI's CEO said, stop doing this. I always say please and thank you to my AI. Always. I'm also Canadian. It's habit too.
I mean, I think I made it sound like I'm worried AI is coming for my job. I'm definitely not. Yeah. I know that like I bring more to the table. I think it's just, I don't know, as someone who like loves writing, like creative writing and loves like creative expression, I am just worried about what it means for the arts, what it means for mainly the arts, like people expressing themselves creatively and whether or not there will be perhaps less value associated with that.
Totally. I think similar to that, the thing that stresses me out the most with AI is like deep fakes and AI replication of humans and their likeness and the dangers we get into over who owns like your IP, basically.
Yeah.
That scares me more than anything. But like the well-adjusted human I am, I just pretend that's not a thing and try to like detach from that being a possibility right now. Yeah. What do you think you would use AI for, but you're not right now? But like you'd be interested to try, but like there's something kind of holding you back.
This is kind of a boring answer, but so I keep seeing these things on LinkedIn and TikTok that are like, you can now create a website in 10 minutes using AI. Like not a great website, but like you can literally like give it enough information to create like a multi-page website. And I think that's very cool. As someone who works, we spend so much time updating our website at work. And so I'm like, that would be cool. The other thing is I'm feeling like AI might be the reason I don't need to become an expert at Excel. I'm going to say it now. When? Yeah, I'm for someone in my position, I am shockingly bad at Excel. And it's a running joke internally at my company because I'm at a company with a bunch of people who are unbelievable
Data
at
nerds,
Excel.
yeah.
And with Excel, you can literally have it create. Like you just say, like, this is what I haven't done it yet. Yeah. Again, because I'm a little bit scared. I don't know where to start, but I think that's something that I would love to use it for. I think
monotonous tasks, right? Like any admin that you're not good with.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, like I wonder actually. So the newsletter that came out for May, I used AI not to write it necessarily. Like it helped me basically take 4 episodes, come up with key themes, and sort of like concept it. And I would draw the line at like writing something for me. I think at this point, I can't speak forever, but like I don't know what's going to happen with it in the future. But that I'm like very curious as to how I could use it to create more content than I'm currently creating. What about you?
Yeah, I think professionally, I want to use AI to create systems that make different processes across my organization more efficient. So like, how do I speed up? And actually, we're having a conversation right now around processes internally that this is going to be a really interesting kind of segue on. Personally, where I'm would like to use AI and I haven't yet, but I'm going to, is to have it come up with some sort of like workout regimen for me. Like almost treat it as like a personal trainer, being like, here are the areas I hate the most about my body. And I'd like exercises specifically that I can address. No, I know that's aggressive, but like I'm an idiot when it comes to the gym. That's why the only thing I can do at the gym is go to workout classes when someone's telling me what to do. Like I'm just like a 2-year-old when you leave me alone with a bunch of gym equipment. And I've used trainers before and they've been great, but it's expensive. And I don't need necessarily someone to hold my hand. I just need a plan more than anything. And I want something that takes into account like certain issues I might have, certain like injuries or sensitivities. And,
I think this raises, like, I think that's really cool. But I think this raises a really interesting, and go with me on this. These are sort of disconnected.
I'll go down this path with you.
So this idea of like having AI create a workout routine for you that targets specific areas of your body, super smart. Do you think you'd actually do it?
We don't know.
Well, this is the part I think is really interesting, is like you're given, AI gives you access to so much. Like you could spend it's the application aspect. And I think the reason I go to workout classes, okay, so I went to an Orange Theory workout for the first time in like 2 weeks after work today.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, part of the reason I went was because at Orange Theory, they do this thing where they text you when you haven't been for like a couple of weeks. And they go, hey, Megan, when are you coming to work out? And I'm like
Duolingo kind of, but less.
Yeah. But like,
bitchy.
It's like an actual person. He's like, this is Coach Eddie. Like just wondering when you're coming. And I'm like, shoot. And I go because I have booked in and I don't want the late fee or the cancellation fee. And B, because I'm like, oh, they're expecting me to come. And like, I mean, they don't care. Obviously, I'm like one of like hundreds of people that go to the studio. But I'm like, okay, like the accountability aspect of having another human there. I just wonder, I think the pendulum is going to swing really far in the direction of using AI for a lot of people for almost everything in their life. And then I think that it will do that classic thing that happens with tech adoption where the pendulum swings back slightly. One thing that's also sort of related to this, because it reminded me of like the accountability of actually a human texting you, is we're seeing in our industry this like massive desire for in-person experiences.
Oh, 1000%.
And I think that that's a really interesting, it kind of relates to like the human empathy that, you know, being prioritized as a manager, for instance.
Yeah.
Like it's like AI is almost pushing, again, I'm not an expert, but my opinion, it feels like it's pushing the like the social media of it all, like the access to anything through Google of it all, and like the void that people are feeling for community. I feel like it's like pushing it even faster in one direction, and people are pivoting and saying, actually, I want more in-person experiences to feel like a human again.
Yeah, and I think post-COVID, everyone's craving that because everyone was so heavily reliant on digital connectivity, right? So there's absolutely a time and a place and a need and a craving for real life, tangible, feel it, see people, engage events. So yeah, that's why I'm not overly concerned that like AI is going to take over everything and everyone's just going to live in the metaverse 100% of the time.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's interesting. Metaverse, like we haven't even talked about that.
Yeah.
But I think it's ultimately we almost have to have faith in like the fact that humans care about their humanity. You know what I mean? Like we have to have faith that like, and the world is pretty cuckoo bananas right now. So sometimes it's hard to have faith, but I'm going to have faith that like, it's not going to take over our universe in a horrible way.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God, that was a yawn. I think post-COVID, especially, we saw what happens when people live not with other people, when they are separated, when you can't be together, when you can't join as a community, and when you do just have to rely so heavily on technology to feel something because you physically cannot be around another person. And I think what's so encouraging to me with that is that people didn't just stick with that when the restrictions lifted. They like rebounded and we're like, no, I want to have more in-person connections. I want to. Now, did we always know how to? Because there's something about the pandemic that kind of rotted our brain a little bit. Just talk to me about dating pre and post pandemic, and I can write you an entire dissertation on human relations.
ChatGPT could help with that.
Honestly, I probably could. Stay tuned for my thesis. But I think what gives me hope that this is not the end is people crave physical connection and they crave humanity and they crave something that just is messy and just wouldn't be able to be replicated by technology or a robot right now.
That feels like a nice way to end it.
I'm here all week.
I think like this is such a I'm here all week. This is such a contentious topic for a lot of people. So please let us know what you think. And if you're using AI or if you're like really worried about it, or if there's any gaps in kind of, I'm sure there are many, but any glaring gaps in what we said. Very much an evolving conversation, but we thought it was an important one to chat through.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also interesting for us because it's kind of adjacent to like our normal lives, and it's something we both wrestle with so much professionally. So yeah, no, I liked this one.
It was different. Let us know because this is also a bit worky. We got a little worky.
So we also have some work content coming. I think
we do.
New guest. I talked to you about it yesterday.
Oh yeah, we do. We actually have a couple. We have a couple of good work guests coming. Yes. So more on work. Let us know if you like that stuff. Turns out we are pretty good at our job. So Shocking. I don't know who allowed this to happen, but
we sold our souls basically. But that's a whole other conversation to have. Anyways,
talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.